the TV classic The Brady Bunch showed the positive side of blended families when Mike and his 3 boys joined Carol and her 3 girls. But in families brought together like this, things can get pretty ugly after mum or dad passes away. The new partner, children and stepsons or daughters can literally go to war over an estate. And our next guest says the only winners are lawyers when blended families don't prepare a proper will. Estate planner Brian Hoare joins us now to explain what you need to know. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Thank you.
Is this something that is happening quite a bit? I guess, you know, there are lots of divorces happening, people remarry, families are blended.
Look, absolutely right, Sarah. Most of my clients are actually blended families. These days, as you say, because of the rate of divorce, most people, well, many people come together after they get divorced reasonably young in their lives, so they find another partner later on and come together and form a new family.
And sorry. And what about when it comes to the consequences that then happen if people don't plan properly for a will?
Look, that's a very good question, Sarah. The thing is that, and it's very easy not to plan as well. It's even at the best of times or the worst of times, it's very hard to think about death and dying and disability and all those sort of things. So it's hard enough just to think about your own mortality, then to also think about your spouses and, heaven forbid, your children's as well. So particularly if people don't have a proper will, if you've got a blended family situation, so Sarah, for example, let's say that you and I were married and we were that Brady Bunch, okay?
I love these games.
You have 3 boys, I've got 3, I actually do have 3 girls, I've got 3 girls, and so we've come together, Brady Bunch style, and let's say they're all young, and when they come together. Now, we're spouses, so obviously we love each other, so we want to look after each other after one of us passes away. So I want to look after you after you pass away, but at the same time, maybe I want my assets to go to my own children.
Right.
And you want your assets to go to your own children. Or perhaps you want our assets to go to all our children because we consider them all to be our children. Now, the thing is that if you don't do your will properly, the consequences are that perhaps that won't work out that way.
Sorry, Fiona, go.
Oh, the do-it-yourself wills, are they good enough to cover...
No, certainly not.
Family
Certainly not.
But the TV ads say they are.
The thing about do-it-yourself wills, they're really they're just template documents, so they're really only based on a very narrow type of situation, very old-fashioned traditional family, husband, wife, and 2.5 kids, and with very little assets. Now the thing is, the courts are littered with examples of people who've done do-it-yourself wills. Yes, you might save a few bucks up front when you put your will together. Unfortunately, though, you might cost your family potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in terms of legal fees afterwards. In fact, a recent court case on a do-it-yourself will, in the case, the judge actually remarked that the testator, the will maker, spent a lot of time apparently making the will very, very pretty and very aesthetically pleasing, but unfortunately not too much on the actual legalities of the will. And as a result, their family suffered, but the lawyers, as you said before, the lawyers profited quite well.
I'm going to, like a real-world example, is you can get, as you say, a blended family. Now, if a parent dies, there are other parents to those children, and they may make a claim over the children. They are the last remaining blood parent.
Hang on.
And then... So
I feel like I need a roadmap and a cut lunch.
This is a real. This is happening all the time. So you get a blended family, so they come together. But unless it's because the parent has died, there is another parent somewhere.
Yes.
So then, if the parent of their children dies, they say, "Well, hang on, I'm the parent of that child. I want this child back with me, not with you. You're not the blood parent."
You're talking about custody.
And I want the custody. And then, but now that I've got the custody, I've got the expense. So I'll go back into that will, and I want money out of the will.
Right.
So that the children become potentially bidding pieces in essentially an attempt on the estate. Am I making that up, or is that real world?
Look, that's possible. Now, the thing is that if the other biological parent, that's who you're talking about,
That's what you- that's
wanted
the
to
word I
make
was
a
looking for.
claim,
Yeah.
want to make a claim against the estate. Well, the thing is that, so let's have a look at another example. Okay, it's 2018, so let's say you and I are actually married in the second.
Indeed, I've always liked the look
And
of
now
it.
it's legal. It's wonderful.
Exactly. And so I pass away.
This story's getting sad.
It's
Getting exciting from my perspective. But,
Would you rather you pass away?
No.
So I passed away. We've been sharing our kids, but now my partner from a previous relationship comes into play and says, well, look, hang on a sec, you know, they're my kids.
Yeah.
I want to take them back. And, hey, by the way, I need money in order to do that
exactly
as
the
well.
point,
yeah.
Now, the thing is this. A former spouse is eligible to make a claim against someone's deceased estate. But the thing is, whether or not they'll actually get anything out of their estate, that's another question. The court looks at all sorts of factors, financial need being a particular factor as well. Now, if I had and this is where it gets into family law a bit too, but if I did when I presumably got divorced from that former spouse, if I put in place a proper family court settlement, court-approved settlement, then hopefully their chance of getting anything out of my estate are pretty minimal. But hey, it's a potential concern. You're absolutely right, Hugh.
As you can see, it's pretty complex and you should definitely consult a professional. Let's look at some great points and advice that you can give us. Have the difficult conversations with your family. Engage a professional. Keep a signed statement of intention with your will. Remember that superannuation needs a binding death nomination in place, and testamentary trusts can be a useful thing for blended families. Brian, there's a lot to think about there, but you've given us some good advice. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, next hour is the